if you wouldn't mind just kind of giving me just a little primer on Lafayette County and kind of its size and some a little bit of its history and kind of what the economy and what life is like in Lafayette County right now.
Well, Lafayette County was formed in October of 1927. So we're actually getting prepared to have our 200th anniversary, birthday, however you want to call it, which is pretty exciting for us.
Yeah.
Um, we have a population of about 6,200 people. It's not a really, as far as population, we've lost a lot of population over the years due to industries coming and leaving. And the majority of our residents travel out of town to go to work, which we're hoping some of that will change for sure in the future. We are the third least populated county in the state of Arkansas. And I'd actually read that the other day, and I didn't realize that was the case. But, maybe this will help change that as well. I like to say that we are the heart of the Arklatex because where we're situated at in the southwest corner, we've got Louisiana to the south of us, Texas to the west of us. And then there we are down there in the southwest corner. So we like to, consider ourselves the heart of the Arklatex here, and which is a good thing.
Well, so with word of this industry kind of taking shape, what kind of role do you expect Lafayette County to take in the lithium extraction industry? Where does Lafayette County you think fit in that?
Well, our role currently is going to be it's the supporting role because we're just trying to support the companies that have showed interest, that have bought property here. And because right now, until they set the royalty, and I think we'll talk about that further down, but, right now it's just as the county judge and as far as the county, it's just being the supportive role that these companies need, be it they need a contact with someone that does local dirt work or they have questions about something they're not familiar with in the county. But that's pretty much the role that we're taking right now. It's just being more of the supportive role in this.
And you've got some of the major lithium, well, you may have all of them in your county right now in terms of the lithium companies that are testing and drilling wells and all of that. Is that correct? Fair to say?
Yes, we have, as far as I'm currently aware of, there are four. We have Tetra Technologies, we have Standard Lithium, which is now Smackover Lithium, Exxon Mobil, and then Pantera.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and I saw an interview with the Pantera CEO the other day, and he had some really interesting things to say. They're an Australian company, obviously,
Yes.
and so it's been interesting. They people are finding Arkansas, which is always funny to me. People are discovering Arkansas, and just kind of their thoughts around the state, and had positive things to say about the state as a supporter of business and very helpful, and the people are great and all of that. So. That's been kind of cool to see.
Oh yeah, well, and especially for us down here, because just knowing that we could possibly be a lot to the world as far as what we have to offer here in Lafayette County. Mm-hmm. And that's exciting for me, and it is exciting for my constituents as well, because most counties they don't get this kind of publicity ever, and so just to know that we could possibly help change the world as far as being one of the major lithium suppliers, that's very exciting.
Yeah. Well, so what is your priorities now in terms of preparing for this industry growth? I mean, what are the top things that the county needs to do, or that any of your partners need to do to sort of prepare for what's to come?
Well, right now, my main focus is the infrastructure needs, because we are the county itself, the way it's laid out, there's so many rural areas, and that's where some of the companies have purchased land is in the more rural area. And so it's, rural water, the road infrastructure. Well, we have moved forward as far as broadband. So that's been a positive. So that's there. But then, you've got to have, cellular service, because so many, that's what everybody uses now. Everybody has a cell phone, and you drop a pin and do all of those things. And so we're still working on those things. But right now, my main concern is the roads, and then trying to get rural water to the people, because having these businesses come here, it's going to require, a lot of water use. And
Right.
so that's just the main infrastructure part is what my main focus is right now.
What kind of tools do you have in your toolbox then as a county to sort of help facilitate that? I guess those build outs. I mean, like you say, you're gonna have to run water to people. Like what are you able to do to get that done? Do you have the resources to
Well,
get it done?
county was awarded a planning grant for $500,000. And so we've used some of that planning grant money to we've reached out and we've got a company that's going to come in and help me lay out a plan, because obviously this will take years to do as far as rural water for the whole county. I mean, it's not one of those things where you can just snap your finger and everybody, has water, but we're just trying to focus on the areas right now that I feel will need it the most. Will be the ones that really need rural water. And so we're in the planning phases of all of that and just trying to get that laid out and see how that will progress with the companies coming in, because they've all said they want to be really good community partners with Lafayette County. And so I know that, they will probably be apt to try to help us some with that.
In terms of other things, so there's classic infrastructure, roads and water utilities, those kinds of things. What about I think you talked about housing, touched on housing a moment ago. Where are you in that sort of situation? Because like you said, you want people to live here and not commute in. So what are your challenges there, and how are you set to face those challenges?
Well, it's kind of like the water situation. We've reached out to a developer and we're starting to have some of those conversations to see, in which direction we need to go with that. I mean, honestly, when I ran for county judge, if someone would have said, "Hey, do you realize you're going to become the county judge and all of this is going to come your way?" I'd have been like, "There's no way this is going to happen." So this has really been a huge deal for me, and it's so new. And some days I feel like I'm in, uncharted waters there, but we're muddling through it. And but it's just having just the contacts that I need right now and being able to reach out to these developers and just talk to them and explain to them the situation of Lafayette County. And that has sparked a lot of interest within the different industries as well.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think Parnell Van and Magnolia is sort of having these same conversations. It feels like in terms of
Mhm.
kind of building up his housing stock and kind of what things he may need.
Yes. And and the thing is, you don't know. I mean, we kind of want to be able to look into like the cities for, subdivisions and things like that. But then if you look at it from a different perspective, people may want to live around the lake, because Lake Erland they have a lot to offer down there on the west side of the lake. They have subdivisions already set in place. And so it's just trying to help people decide exactly what part of the county they want to be able to move to and what areas, they see best for them and their families.
So, in terms of the attention that you've received, I think there's been some probably national attention, or in circles, or looking at Arkansas as kind of this booming new place, this new frontier for lithium extraction. I know Lafayette County has benefited from some of that. What has that been like for you? What has that been like for your fellow citizens to kind of be in the spotlight in this
Mhm.
interesting way?
Well, really, it's the best thing that could have ever happened to Lafayette County. I mean, we have a rare mineral here that is very valuable to so many countries and to the United States as a whole. And to know that, like I said, we could be a pivotal point here for the lithium boom, that we can, be the ones that we won't have to concentrate on trying to get it from other countries. We'll be able to produce it, number one, here for the United States, and kind of go for there. But just the overall life change that it could possibly have for a lot of people here. I mean, with having such a small population in the county, I want kids to graduate from high school and be able to know that they can continue to live in Lafayette County and get the good jobs and plant their roots here like their parents and their grandparents did, and to see the county, in a positive growth.
Well, kind of what would you say is the number one thing that you might like the rest of the state to know about kind of what's happening in Lafayette County in the lithium industry there? Is there something everybody's missing, or is there just something that you want people to be aware of?
Well, it's a very slow paced process. It doesn't happen overnight because, right after I was elected in 2023, or I was elected in 2022. When I started in 2023, there was a whole bunch of talk, and then it just kind of died down. Then there was a whole bunch of talk, and so it just has people wondering, like, is it really coming or is it not coming? And just it's a very, very slow paced process, but it's steady.
Mhm.
And we as people in Lafayette County, we don't see a whole lot of movement right now, but there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that we are not aware of, just as far as the industry trying to prepare, for the companies to come here. And but yeah, it's slow paced, and but we just want people to know that we're willing to do business with anyone in Lafayette County. Like, we want people to look at Lafayette County and go, you know what, I think that would be a great place to start a business. And we're here, and we're willing to help anyone that has any questions that, and it doesn't have to be anything related to the lithium industry. If we want to see growth overall, which, I mean, the lithium is going to have a huge, it's going to have to be a huge source for the growth, but we want other industries to come here as well.
Well, so looking ahead, it's never fair to ask someone to look into the future and make predictions, but I'm going to ask you to do that, I guess. 10, 15, 20 years down the road, how do you expect things to have changed in Lafayette County?
I feel like there will be major changes in a very positive way. We'll have just the quality of life for the citizens of my county. And then the infrastructure, I feel like by that time, will be in place. Housing, just the overall quality of life, I think, just for the people of my county will be tremendous. And I think that's going to be one of the best things for us.
Mhm. Very good. Well, so what are among the things that we need to be looking for next as things happen? I know royalty is the big thing sitting out there.
Mhm.
Right? I mean, that's the thing that maybe we have to have settled before anything else takes place. Is that how you read it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, and I really believe that once the Oil and Gas Commission sets the royalty, I think that's when we'll start seeing a lot of progress and the moving forwards. And I think that's when we'll start having the phone calls of other industry and other businesses asking questions about Lafayette County. And I understand that to a degree, that's probably been a holdback for some businesses, because until they said it, no one is, how do we really know, that type of thing. And so I think, like I said, once they set that royalty amount, that we'll start seeing things moving pretty quick in a positive manner.
Cool. Okay. Well, is there anything else that you want to share, or anything that I missed, something that we need to know?
Well, of course, this is all, I get this interview's been about the lithium, but, we do have other industries going in the county right now. We have one that is likely to start production probably in the end of April, the beginning of May. And I'm not certain if it's the first one in the state of Arkansas, but if it's not the first one, there are very few of them. But we have a gentleman who is, he's having a pellet mill. And what he's going to do is take raw chicken litter and convert it into a pelletized fertilizer. And it will be all organic. And that's been just aside from the lithium, that's been a huge thing for us here, because he could really put a completely different spotlight on the county as far as being able to ship out, pelletized organic fertilizer. Mm-hmm. And so that's something else we have going on now. And all the talk is lithium, but I always like to throw that in, because that could just shed a completely different light on us too. Yeah. But I just want people to know that, we're wanting people to come here. We're wanting people to come and just, look at the county. I said since day one when I was elected, if I could just get people off of Highway 29 and Highway 82, they could see how beautiful, Lafayette County is. And we do have a lot to offer here. And I'm excited to be in the position that I'm in now and to welcome these industries as we move forward.
Right. Well, you've got a world-class opportunity to do that and to introduce Arkansas to the world. So that's very special. Lafayette County Judge Valarie Clark, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you very much, Lance. I appreciate this opportunity.